Hey, what's up guys, welcome back. Today is going to be a little bit different than our average day. I am working on Ecoboost Raptor 2017. It's mostly stock. It has aerated intake and it has a MagnaFlow catback, so there's a little bit of power to be gained there, but it's mostly going to be from the tune. So check it out. This is going to be probably the third Ecoboost that I work on, so bear with me. So I already did the first pull, completely stock. All I did was remove the limiter. It came in with 344 horsepower. So I'm pretty confident that we can get a little bit more. That was at 14 PSI. So I'm gonna bump the PSI a little bit more. It is a 91. So we're a little bit limited on how far we can push it, especially with the stock intercooler and cold, hot air that is coming in. So it will be a little bit timing limited, but there's definitely some gains to be had. So as you guys can see, the manifold charge temps are still at 125. So I haven't even started the pool and it's already hot. So I'm trying to cool it down, get the RPMs up a bit, get some cold air flowing. I did spray down the intercooler. So that being said, one of the best investments you can do on any of your EcoBoosts would be a bigger intercooler, just because of the fact of how hot these turbos get, how small they are. So temperatures skyrocket, and you know hot air and timing do not mix, so it is very limited on power based off of that. Well guys, this is one of the results. This obviously the solid line is completely stock. This is where we saw the 344 that we were talking about, 338. This one over here, this was a little experiment I was running. So I boosted it up to 22 PSI and it put us right around 395. But the problem was it was just too much heat. There was just too much heat for this intercooler, for this setup. Timing was going to the negatives, and as you can see, as soon as we hit the peak, power even dropped way below stock above that. So like I said, it was a little experiment. I was trying to see how far I can push the turbos before we start losing power. That being said, this is going to be the other pull that we did after I lowered boost and added a little bit more timing. So it's a little hard to see, but it's a solid line right here. So even after, let me hide this one. So even after dropping boost, I dropped it down to 20 psi down here and then 18 and 17 up here. You can still see where we picked up more horsepower at less boost, mainly because there's less temperatures and we can run more timing. But we did have to compromise a little bit of the horsepower right here. So now let's compare that to the stock, and it puts us well over about 50 horsepower gains down low. Foot-pounds is even better. We're at 431 here, then we gain 506, so it's very close to 70 foot-pounds in gains. And like I said, this is just a aerated intake and MagnaFlow exhaust. But our more realistic numbers we're at 374, around 374, 378, and then we have a little dip here. It's just, like I said, it's just temperature. We do live in Arizona. Ambient right now is 100 degrees, so I had to have it pull more boost based on temperatures. So these are more realistic out on the streets, as it's around 20 psi still down low, and up here it tapers down to 17, then boosts back up to 18. But right now when we test drove it, it was getting extremely hot, so I actually have it around 14, 15 psi up top and 18 down low once we start hitting the hotter temperatures. So this was a pretty fun experiment. Obviously we were just trying to compromise boost versus timing versus heat and figure out which is the best combination. So it took countless pulls to figure out our best combination, and this is the most I came out with, which was close to 380, which is not bad. It's still 36 horsepower, close to 40, and it's going to be a lot more as soon as we see colder air. So hopefully he can bring it back in the winter so we can see how it's doing with the colder air, because it's gonna love it. And then I did talk to Vince. Hopefully he pulls the plug and decides to go on the E50, because that's gonna give us a ton more power, basically, because we can run the same amount of boost, maybe a little bit more, and increase timing. So we should be able to hit 400 plus. I don't see why not. As we saw earlier, it did hit 400 plus, but there was dips in the curve and everything. It was just too much. 491. So I'm actually pretty excited. Hopefully he does decide to do E50, and I will be seeing him back in a few weeks if that's the case. If not, well, on to the next one. Well guys, thank you for watching, thank you for subscribing, thank you for commenting. I really appreciate all the support. Like I said, this is why I'm here. I'm trying to provide as much content as I can for you guys. I hope you liked it. Thank you. Till next time.